Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to the Yaşar Üniversitesi Graduate School online seminar series. Today, Mrs. Begüm Önal will present her research topic, Strengthening the Social Fabric Through Placemaking in Public Interiors, the name of your presentation. Before her presentation, I would like to introduce her briefly. She obtained her bachelor's degree in interior architecture and environmental design from the Faculty of Finance and Design at İzmir University of Economics. Throughout her undergraduate period, she traveled abroad for educational and internship purposes. In 2014, she spent a month in Japan as an exchange student with a scholarship called JASO. In the same year, she attended lectures of Interior Design Department for a semester at Sheffield Hallam University in the UK as an Erasmus Plus program exchange student. In 2016, she moved to Italy in order to pursue her academic career with a master's degree in interior design at Politecnico di Milano. For her postgraduate thesis, she discoursed on the theory of placemaking in public spaces, the notion of the social fabric, and sense of community. Correspondingly, she developed a research thesis titled Strengthening the Social Fabric Through Placemaking in Public Interiors, which is our seminar topic today. And she completed her thesis with the counseling of Associate Professor David Fassi. Following her master's degree graduation in 2018, she moved back to Turkey to continue her academic career with a Doctor of Philosophy degree. Currently, she continues to her PhD program in Architecture Department with a doctoral degree scholarship at Yaşar Üniversitesi. And her research interests focus on spatial and cultural studies, history and theory of design, placemaking, space, gender relationship, and public interiors. She also our research assistant. We are lucky for that. Thank you, Begüm, again for joining us today. And now I am giving the word Mrs. Önal for her presentation.
Sure. Thank you for this nice introduction. Let me first stop my video. It's better for you to see the presentation, I guess. Again, good afternoon and welcome, dear seminar participants. First of all, before I begin the presentation, I would like to thank the Graduate School of Yaşar University for inviting me to take part in this online seminar series. I would also like to give my special thanks to Associate Professor Zeynep Tuna Ulta for her invitation, the Head of Interior Architecture Department under the Graduate School, and Associate Professor Gülnur Ballice for her kind invitation and introduction. Today, I will talk about my master's degree thesis completed in April 2019 at Politecnico di Milano, and it is entitled Strengthening the Social Fabric Through Placemaking in Public Interiors. Throughout my thesis study, I first conducted a literature review on the notions of social fabric, neighborhood satisfaction, sense of community, and placemaking. Then I focused on a newly emerging neighborhood located in Milan called Nolo with the counseling of my thesis advisor, Associate Professor Davide Fassi. Besides my theoretical research, I practiced my site analysis at Nolo and specifically in a historical indoor marketplace, Mercato Comunale di Via La Monza, located in this neighborhood, to investigate how public markets as spaces in between the exterior and interior could enhance the social fabric and empower the sense of community if a placemaking approach was employed. As part of my study, I was also asked to bring a design proposal for this marketplace based on my literature review findings. However, today I plan to focus more on the theoretical part of the study, but I will briefly show the design project outcome at the end of the presentation. So let's start with what is social fabric in the first place. If we consider each member of society as a thread, the social fabric is an intangible weaving created by the combination of all these threads. This weaving can be considered as a metaphor that allows us to understand how strongly members of society interact and cooperate. This notion refers to the interpersonal relationships between the various people of the town and the nature and strength of those. It implies a public world, as one of the prominent political theorists, Hannah Arendt, indicates, taking place beyond the home or workplace, created and recreated by people coming together in collective occupation. At this point, as I argue, everyday public spaces, public interiors in my indoor case, play a vital role to serve an interactive environment for society. Such gathering places give people a feeling of belonging, allows social mixing, and enhance the social fabric. According to Cantarsis and Molyneux, there are 3 forms of public space occupation, which are casual daily encounters, local events and organizations, and celebrations or remembrances. These 3 forms are described as opportunities for social interaction and communication. Today, I will mainly focus on the first 2 forms of the collective occupation. The daily encounters in public spaces does not necessarily involve many people who create an occupation together, but it is more like an interviewing of various people strolling in their neighborhoods, such as visiting their local coffee shops, bars, marketplaces, or squares. We may describe this situation as a place ballet indicated by Seaman, which means that people come together in public spaces in order to conduct their quotidian activities. According to Wise and Velayutam, sharing the same public space overlaps people's lives and also converts these everyday spaces into important points of encounter. Dwyer and Bentley, on the other hand, state that these encounters allow maintaining a continuous reconstruction of networks and the social fabric inherently. Local events and organizations is a second form of occupation, as I aforementioned. These events and organizations are funded locally by following the legal necessities of a city. They display the active nature of the social fabric and consistent change. The aim of organizations can be different and the participation reasons of the society may vary. However, one way or another, all local events and organizations serve a variety of opportunities different than those available at home or work. These opportunities include the social and practical use of skills, having a voice while making decisions about a city, sharing thoughts freely, and communicating with the other members of society. Thus, having local events and organizations in public spaces to debate, shape action, and reduce the negative impacts of a city is important, and it is an opportunity in multi-ethnic communities to interact with people. So, where these 2 forms of social occupation take place on a micro scale? Neighborhoods. According to Simondan, neighborhood is a term that describes a geographically localized community within a city, town, suburb, or rural area. Neighborhoods in populated cities may show varieties of urban characteristics, inhabiting diverse people from different social classes. Some neighborhoods can be composed of people who have full contact in between, while some neighborhoods can be areas where inhabitants have little common with each other. On the other hand, some people may have a smaller scale of options regarding social activities, while some can live in certain neighborhoods that serve many things to do. This, at this point, is one of the main criteria that sets the level of neighborhood satisfaction. Neighborhoods are linking points between the city and homes, and as Brouwer states, 3 dimensions create the character of a neighborhood: ambience, engagement, and choicefulness. Engagement is the level of integration among inhabitants and the existence of services that encourage their interactions. The level of engagement in neighborhoods happens in 2 manners: the sense of community and the social life of a neighborhood. The sense of community I would like to focus on at this point is defined by Macmillan and Chavez as a feeling that members have of belonging, a feeling that members matter to one another and to the group, and a shared faith that members' needs will be met through their commitment to be together. What creates the sense of community then is composed of 4 elements, which are membership, the sense of who belongs to the community, impression, the ability to influence a group of people, integration, the feeling of people are awarded by being a member of a community, and shared experiences, the mutual history of community members. For Simon, the local places and how people interact with those places are essential to understand possibilities for integration and the improvement of the social fabric. Wherever we go, we come across public spaces, large interiors such as town centers, marketplaces, parks, or streets, and they are the principal common elements of our daily lives. These places are passing sceneries of our way to the home where we get the chance to sit, relax, shop, or hang out with friends. Many community psychologists argue that physical and environmental factors can be vital for the improvement of a sense of community and social fabric in neighborhoods. Through design strategies and social policies, it is possible that architects, designers can improve a neighborhood's feeling of community and social ties. Where do we begin to improve then? Probably public spaces, right? Frankly, they are one of the most powerful connective elements in cities for the social redevelopment approaches. Memorovich and Leinheinreich explain 5 main needs in order to obtain a powerful public space: comfort, relaxation, passive engagement with the environment, active engagement with the environment, and discovery. Comfort is one of the primary needs of society, and it is challenging to vision how other needs will be achieved without it. The level of comfort may affect the amount of time people spend in a public space, since it is essential for society to feel comfortable and have memorable experiences. Relaxation is the state of body and mind at ease, and passive engagement with the environment is the need of interaction of individuals with the society, but in this case, they are not involved actively. A common example of passive engagement with the environment can be people only watching. Active engagement with the environment then stands for direct interaction between people and space itself. Discovery represents the desire for discovering new things. In this case, it would be new spaces that makes people stay longer in a place. When public spaces are successful, they increase opportunities to participate in a communal activity. In the parks, plazas, markets, waterfronts, and natural areas of our cities, people from different cultural groups come together in a supportive context of mutual enjoyment. As these experiences repeated, public spaces become vessels to carry positive communal meanings. So, how can we empower the connective aspect of public spaces? At this point, I would like to talk about the notion of placemaking. The concepts behind placemaking originated in the 1960s when writers like Jane Jacobs and William White offered groundbreaking ideas about designing cities that cater to people, not just to cars and shopping centers. Their work focused on the importance of lively neighborhoods and inviting public spaces. The main objective was to find people-centric and collective solutions to place-related problems. This concept is, in simplest terms, is a person-based process that puts emphasis on community integration, participation, and collaboration to enhance the habitability of cities and towns. It is a hands-on approach for improving a neighborhood, city, or region. Placemaking inspires people to collectively reimagine and reinvent public spaces as the heart of every community. Strengthening the connection between people and the places they share, placemaking refers to a collaborative process by which we can shape our public realm in order to maximize shared value. More than just promoting better urban design, placemaking facilitates creative patterns of use, paying particular attention to the physical, cultural, and social identities that define a place and supports its ongoing evolution. With community-based participation at its center, it results in the creation of quality public spaces that contribute to people's health, happiness, and well-being. Public spaces are multidimensional. People share these spaces for many different objectives at different times of the day. Public areas are for selling and buying, for playing, meeting, or only coming across with one another. Yet these spaces also can be an inspiration for experimentation, expression, and creativity. According to Project for Public Spaces, 10 issues have the most transformative impact on public spaces: equality, inclusion, streets as places, the architecture of place, innovation hubs, market cities, place governance, sustainability and resilience, rural communities, creative placemaking, and health. In parallel, cities need destinations that give an image and identity to their neighborhoods and communities. Influential community destinations are also essential elements of cities to attract people. This destination can be a square, the main street, a park, or a marketplace that gathers its inhabitants. According to Project for Public Spaces, again, having multiple spaces in one destination is what makes public spaces successful. For instance, a square needs minimum 10 places: a cafe, a children's play area, a place to read or drink a cup of tea, a place to rest, somewhere to meet friends. Each of these places should have at least 10 activities to do. Cumulatively, these activities, places, and destinations create healthy neighborhoods and cities. Being one of the community destinations in cities, as I said in the beginning of the presentation, I focused on public markets as resources of placemaking in my thesis study. From the early periods of history, public markets have played a significant role as being gathering and commercial locations in the cities and towns. However, because of the strong competition with supermarkets across Europe, they encountered increasing deterioration over the decades. Public markets are flexible spatial organizations that can serve integrative public spaces/interiors, promoting an improvised integration between people of a community. One of the most important prospects of public markets is the experience and recognition of diversity through planned or unplanned encounters with, let's say, others. Nowadays, derived interest in public markets results from an expanded consciousness that they are not simply places of economic activities, but also connections of social processes and dynamos of cultural activities. We can list the benefits of public markets as follows. They renew downtowns and neighborhoods, provide economic opportunity, create active public spaces, promote public health, link urban and rural economies, and the most important of all, bring diverse people together. According to Project for Public Spaces, people are in need of public markets for various reasons. The surveys which the organization did show top reasons for people preferring public markets to do shopping, seeing other people, and having opportunities for extempore conversations. This is what brings people back again and again to their favorite public markets. But these qualities of spontaneity and sociability happen if everything is carefully planned for a public gathering place and managed within a sustainable structure. These qualities that I mentioned provide the meaning, depth, and emotional connections that form pleasant everyday experiences. This system has a powerful impact when applied to public markets. To illustrate the theoretical study I have mentioned so far, now I would like to continue with my thesis case study, the marketplace entitled Mercato Comunale di Viale Monza, located in Milan's Nolo neighborhood. In 2018, approved by Milan City Council, the guidelines were published for the revitalization process of the indoor municipal marketplaces, aiming to enhance traditional and commercial heritage of Milan, born in the 1930s, and also adapt their way of service to contemporary consumption needs for the use of society. Currently in Milan, there are 23 indoor markets, let's say public interior spaces. The marketplaces are located in various neighborhoods in the city and provide fresh groceries and elementary goods to the locals for decades. The red dot you see on the screen refers to Mercato, located in Nolo neighborhood. As I previously said, this is the neighborhood that I focused on throughout my research. Nowadays, the municipality of Milan aims to renovate and restyle these historical local marketplaces. They already renewed 3 of them, but still more to go. They also aim to create new businesses with high quality shops and new services such as catering, and form spaces for social and cultural activity purposes. The municipality envisions marketplaces as community hubs with hybrid activities that create social innovation, which are meeting points all day long and also in the evening. Before I focus on Mercato, I would like to introduce you the neighborhood first and what makes this Nolo neighborhood more unique than the others. In Milan, many neighborhoods are changing rapidly due to the needs of new functions, services, and living spaces of society. With this wind of change, even some neglected parts of the city began to go through the social and urban redevelopments. Nowadays, it is not a surprise to see a neighborhood in Milan which was once lifeless and became popular by time with appropriate interventions. It happened for the Isola district and Lambrate, 2 other neighborhoods in Milan, and now it is happening for the first northern suburbs of the city that has not only changed its face, but also changed its name, Nolo, which means north of Loreto. It is a word play which may come familiar to some who have heard Soho usage for south of Houston or Nolita for north of Little Italy in New York before. As reported by Nolo Social District, a group with over 4,000 members, Nolo is one of the last born and first social districts of the city, and it can be called as a project of revitalization of spaces for social purposes without any cost. Yet I would like to remark that this is not a gentrification project. This neighborhood is being developed through community-based interventions. The idea of social district derives from the Facebook group Residents in Fondazza Street, Bologna, started in September 2013. And today Nolo is one of them. The purpose of social districts is to promote socialization among inhabitants in order to strengthen relationships, interchange needs, share knowledge, implement common interest projects with common benefits from closer social interaction. Nolo Social District is an enlarged social street, a group that aims to create connections between people living in Nolo and who want to get to know and help each other, like report what happens in the neighborhood, exchange opinions on services, giving life to neighborhood initiatives. The group is not associated with parties and not for profit, but social purposes. They aim to contribute to social development and improve the quality of life of those who live in the neighborhood. As founders of Nolo Social District, Daniele Dodaro and Sara Atelier similarly indicate, they created the social street covering the whole Nolo district, and it rapidly became a success due to a huge and active participation by local citizens. Today, Nolo Social District has almost 4,000 members. The purpose of the social street is to meet neighbors in real life and create friendship. Currently, although it is less than before because of COVID-19 situation, Nolo Social District arranges events such as city walks, neighbor breakfasts on streets and Mercato, music events, vintage bazaar, and so on. Located inside the borders of Nolo, the red dot you have previously seen on the map and its photo, Mercato is one of the first indoor municipal markets in Milan, built in 1933 by the architect and engineer Luigi Lorenzo Secchi. This 1,320 square meters building is constructed with the reinforced concrete, and its floor is designed as a rectangular plan consisting of a single floor. The characteristics of this public interior space is similar to the galleries or commercial bazaars built in Europe during the same period. Nowadays, although its interior appearance has been transformed through decades, the market's main functions remain similar. There are several small shops that sell elementary goods and a few coffee shops and a regional restaurant called Taverna. As I mentioned before, this place is one of the public spaces that the municipality aims to regenerate, not by removing existing services, of course, but by giving a new appearance to it to attract more visitors living in Nolo and strengthen the relationship between them by doing so. As you can see in the photos, currently the marketplace serves as a traditional site where you can find meat, dairy, grocery products, and so on. Yet members of Nolo Social District aims to conduct a placemaking approach to this public interior with the support of municipality, preserve existing services, but also add new ones with their own nonprofit effort. In other words, Nolo's aim is not about getting a huge amount of budget and renovate the whole space, but carry activities in the space to bring people together. As part of my thesis study, I also developed a design project for Mercato to illustrate how we could enhance this public space experience of Noloers by employing the theoretical knowledge I gained throughout my study. Here in this diagram, you see the existing services that the building serves, and orange parts are the empty spaces that are not being used. My aim in showing this to you is to allow you to see how much space is not being used, neglected, yet still remain open to intervention. In this diagram, you see the new services added to the space by applying Project for Public Spaces Power of 10+ approach. I did not, of course, generate those spaces only by applying this approach, but I also had a chance to interview and listen what people living in Nolo needed in their neighborhood. Here you can see the master plan with all new services added and old services reconfigured, the same master plan with materials added. Here in this longitudinal section, you can see the middle part, the blue box-like space created to gather people around for casual daily encounters and celebrations or organizations. Here you can see some sketchy renders illustrating some renovated all-service spaces such as L'Impasto, the bakery, Frutteto Monza, grocery, La Taverna dei Terroni, the Sicilian restaurant, Radio Nolo, specifically designed for Nolo Social District members. By the way, Radio Nolo is not imaginary, it exists, but they needed a space to conduct their activities. Here you can see the cross-section showing Spazio Sofa, where the aim was to bring community members together. And here you see a view from its interior showing existing services on the background, Poleria Silva. Here, another interior view from the main meeting space of the building. Although this was only an imaginary proposal that aimed to enhance social fabric in Nolo neighborhood, I wanted to give you a glimpse of how functional design in public spaces/interiors may affect the way we live and interact with other members of society. Actually, recently a new service added to Mercato in real life with the collective contribution of Noloers and Politecnico di Milano. You see photos from the inauguration day of this new space that aims to let Noloers' voice heard through Radio Nolo and help community members who need nutrition products but cannot afford. We have a similar approach in Turkey as well, what we call askıda ekmek. You have probably heard that. Here again, you see different activities collectively held by community members by transforming existing spaces following placemaking approaches. Here on the left, you see one of the newest places reopened in the market where you can buy fresh food. There are a lot of activities currently in progress in Nolo, although COVID-19 situation makes it more difficult. I wish I could tell you about it more, but since we are short in time, I guess, I suggest you to check Nolo Milano's Instagram page to see what are the possible collective interventions that can be done in a local neighborhood. To conclude my words, I would like to say that public spaces/interiors play a vital role in terms of providing societies an interaction environment and empower them for social experiences. On the other hand, placemaking is both a process and a philosophy. It takes root when a community expresses needs and desires about places in their lives, even if there is not yet a clearly defined plan of action. The yearning to unite people around a larger vision for a particular place is often present long before the word placemaking is ever mentioned. Once the term is introduced, however, it enables people to realize just how inspiring their collective vision can be and allows them to look with fresh eyes at the potential of neighborhoods, streets, markets, campuses, and public buildings. It sparks an exciting re-examination of everyday settings and experiences in our lives. An efficient placemaking enables the production of high-quality public spaces that improve the neighborhood's social fabric, community satisfaction, the sense of belonging, and well-being. Successful public spaces through placemaking are places where events and celebrations held, neighbors or friends encounter, and social and economic swaps occur, and also various cultures mix. Public markets are empowering public spaces of urban cities as targeting intercultural connections, neighborhood revitalization, and community building. The most significant benefit of markets to the community is the fact that they bring people together, more than providing only nutritious products. Such public spaces/interiors have 4 specific qualities: their accessibility, engagement environment for the visitors, the feeling of comfort, and finally, well-structured sociable spaces. What we call social fabric is supported by people's sense of place, sense of social equity, and a value, a readiness to take an interest in shared exercises, sense of fulfillment, joy, and positive future desires, and a sense of safety and security. I guess we came to the end, but I would like to say that what I have discussed in the presentation was only one case about NOLA. But if we also think hometown, Izmir's architectural heritage, for example, it is a treasure. For example, last semester, I was the course assistant of the third-year rhythm studio, which students worked on the renovation project of Albayrak Passage in Kemeraltı. It is a beautiful yet neglected building. I know that local organizations and also the municipality aim to regenerate these kind of historical buildings, but I also think that we as a community should take action as well. In Lefebvrean words, reclaim our rights to the city. Perhaps Günür Hocam, we may also discuss this in the Q&A session. But for now, I thank all participants for listening. This was the end of my presentation. Here you can see my bibliography, the shortened version only for this presentation. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Begüm. It's a very nice presentation, and it's a little bit dense, but I think it's very useful for all students and participants. For the participants, do you have any questions? You can open your camera if you want when you're asking questions.
I also would like to get their opinions, you know, is something...
And you cannot, yes, not only questions, you can make a comment, we can make a discussion together, whatever you want, you can talk, speak and comment on related with the some definitions related with our city and research of Begüm. Zeynep Hoca write a comment on the chat. Thank you, Zeynep Hocam and Begüm again.
Thank you.
And from our participants, if you want, you can speak. I can give you the word. Maybe I can start, Begüm. If I speak, then our students and the participants can continue. I will ask something. Have you ever chance to present your project to the community or municipality or Nolo Milano initiatives after the thesis?
The thing is, my thesis advisor, Davide Fassi, he is actually living in Nola, and he's one of the founders of this community foundation. So I was in contact with him all the time, and I had a chance to listen the municipality's presentations. And I also had a chance to talk with people who were living in there. And I also had a chance to share my opinions, what I was doing. You know, it was an interactive year for me when I was writing this thesis. I could go to the neighborhood and get their opinions. So yes.
After you completing the thesis, you produce some proposals for the interior, exterior. Did you? Then it is possible to show them all the residents or all the community?
Not all the community, of course. I presented this in my graduation day. There were some people from NOLA as well, but not to the whole community. But a friend of mine, she was also interested in there, and they had this event I could just attend. And also they had a chance to see projects in there, in the marketplace, actually, where I worked on. And maybe I can
make an exhibition, like an exhibition?
Like kind of an exhibition, because they support this idea of renovation of the market, not to remove what they have, but to add some things more to go there and attend.
And okay,
I can maybe explain that maybe some of the students were confused. I did also a design project and stuff, but this is how it worked in Milan. You Politecnico, I mean, you do your literature review and they expect you to work on a project as well. It's like a two-phase approach in thesis. So I wanted to
is this compulsory for the master degree?
It is not, but usually it's like that. You can do a whole theoretical approach, but since I was focusing on a neighborhood, so I wanted to do it.
Okay, and I am wondering about the funding issue. How they fund the budget, or the municipality support all these
actually, yes,
renovation projects?
The social street that I mentioned is something non-profit. They just arrange by themselves. But the thing for Mercato, and I also showed that the inauguration day, it is funded by Politecnico, and also the Comune di Milano, the municipality, supports this, because as I said, they want to renew it, and they are happy if the community wants to renew it as well. So they get some budget, yes.
And after these kind of projects, after they produce the project, is there any community survey, if or something, an event cooperating with the community, if they accept or not, or their opinion about the project?
I guess, yes. When I did this thesis, it was like the beginning of this renovation project and approach. But I guess day by day, they take opinions, they do surveys probably, but I'm not sure. I'm not full in contact with them right now, but I guess so, yes.
When I am thinking on our city, Izmir, I think there are a lot of potentials in terms of these kind of public places. We talked before with Begüm, what kind of opportunities. Begüm said some of them. One of them, Albayrak passage. Or apart from Albayrak, I think there are a lot of passages in Kemeraltı region. Also in Konak region, we can give some examples. For example, Konak Pier, although it was renovated.
It's one of the most beautiful buildings in Izmir. And
yes, although they renovated and refunctioned it, but it is not very well used because of, I don't know the reason, but it is not very effective usage in that day, and maybe some projects must be produced. These kind of places, SSK blokları, Konak Pierre, and other passages in Kemeraltı and Konak region, I think must be studied. In Rhythm Studio, they studied most of the abandoned buildings, community buildings, but to be able to make all these in real life, in a or to be able to find a budget, I think there must be a more collaboration with municipality and
But if say for a placemaking approach, if you conduct something with community, I guess it comes to you one way or another. I mean, we shouldn't wait for the municipality in the first place, but if you do something, if you start to do something, even like, as I said, neighborhood breakfasts on the streets, I know that is impossible right now because of the COVID situation, but it's also about the community who wants to interact, you know. And
yes. Community participation is so important, to be able to make them realize and to be able to make them sustainable.
Yes.
But in RC, I think this community engagement is mostly missing part. They decided something after the communities know what they are doing or what will be do in the future. Maybe some of the things are successful. For example, Oğuz knows from his office. They also studied in the Bay region, the Aegean Bay. The municipality created successful project for the seashore region of Izmir. I think this is the most successful one that they created till now. In all the regions are renovated, and as I observed, the community is very happy from the results of this reorganization of the seashore of the Izmir Bay. Yes. Do you have any questions, comments?
I guess missed.
Is there anyone that study on that kind of topics in their research, in their thesis? Public space, community engagement, social fabric, or renovating some public spaces and related with these issues. Is there anyone study near to that topics? Yok. No one is speaking today.
I guess
okay. I guess we have finished our seminar today. Thank you again, Begüm, and for all the participants. And we appreciate your being here, and thanks again for joining us today. We hope to see you for the next seminars. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, hocam.
Thank you.
See you.
Presentation.